Welcome back, cannibals and cannibalettes, to our special Christmas episode. That's right, it's that time of the year again, and we have quite a lineup of films that we're going to go through.
What the hell you got going on here? What is the plan? We're gonna talk about the Christmas Carol opposed to the Muppets Christmas Carol?
Well,
I can do that right now. This one's worse. This one's better. Miracle on 34th Street. That movie sucks. What are you, 6? This movie's pretty good. One of the better Christmas ones.
Okay.
But we're gonna be watching this Puppet Master vs. Demonic Toys. All right, guys, here we're going to talk about the movie Puppet Master vs. Demonic Toys. 2004's Puppet Master vs. Demonic Toys. Lee, had you seen it before?
I've seen so little that I feel like I'm completely lost here. Very little Puppet Master, 0 Demonic Toys, and now it's a versus. So I'm like way out of the loop here on this whole thing.
I love Full Moon.
I know you do.
Big fan of Charles Band. This movie is not canon for the series, so like if you've not seen it, like maybe that's why. Maybe you're too close to the thing. I believe this was originally slated to come out after the third movie, or this was going to be the third movie, and like that makes sense with some of the characters that are involved in this. Yeah. This movie's okay. It's not bad. It's definitely a I'd say it's a recommend if you like puppets, if you like practical effects, if you like weird stop motion bullshit, you like people in masks, a ludicrous plot that gets explained like directly to you. This is for you, a easy, digestible Christmas treat.
Yes, I was gonna say, if it's Christmas time, if you want something that we're describing, like definitely B movie, definitely like bad in the ways that it's bad, has some redeemable elements, but is goofy and fun, and in those ways. If you're at all interested, like me, I used to see the Puppet Master boxes in the video store because they're very distinct looking, like very interesting looking, right? And I think I've seen 1 or 2 of those movies, but not really. So now you get to see them, not just them, like amidst the whole sort of plot, the whole interesting holiday, hijinks type thing. It's hits the spot.
All right, so we both recommend checking this one out as a new holiday classic for you. So if you've seen it or don't care, falls over to spoilers, where we're gonna ruin it.
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video and we eat the competition.
All right, guys, here we're gonna talk about the spoilers of Puppet Master vs. Demonic Toys. So what'd you think about it, spoiler-wise?
It's okay. I think it's like not competently made, and it has some weirdness going on.
Well, that's a definite, it's a sci-fi original movie, so like you're gonna get a certain amount of incompetence that just happens. But like, the opening really, I think, could turn a lot of people off with that weird like crystal like frozen glass look they were going for, which I think was just trying to hide the fact that it looked really bad or something.
So the intro credits and like all text cards are jerky in a way that like we made a film back in like 2000, early 2000s. Around this time, and it was difficult to get that final cut to like scroll smoothly or something like that with text. So I don't know if that just happened to them. That's like really goofy, but like yes, it's like jerky motion, and then they use this blurry crystalline like you're talking about, and then throughout.
Well, like you think is there an issue with the thing I'm watching? Like it's not stylized enough to be an effect. It is affecting me as a person,
and it's not old timey or like reminiscent of different, because like text cards used to wiggle because of the film scan thing, but like no, this just looks awful. And throughout the movie, it's like updating you like 10 hours to go, 5 hours to go.
That stuff was always weird to me because the timeline didn't make sense to me. Because I'm like, does it start at midnight on Christmas? What time zone? What are we saying?
But all those are also text cards with a weird blurry, like Christmas tree behind it, and those all suck. Yeah, everything looks so shitty and weird.
You could pull out a lot of things as like bad, but let's focus for a moment on the things that are fun.
Absolutely.
Like we have like dumb stop motion, sometimes in really sped up like montages.
So like I, have seen I think one Puppet Master movie, and I might have been like, oh, never mind, the boxes are much cooler than the movie is. Depending on which one I saw. Who knows? For
some of them, that is very true.
I have never heard of or seen the Demonic Toys ever.
Okay.
So I come into this and like I'm like, wait, are the puppets the good guys? Oh, the Demonic Toys are chumps. What the hell? Why are they having all these problems with them and stuff?
Well,
and then they have weird powers I don't understand. I'm like, oh, this is amazing.
I don't know if it was a problem with like, because this is not a canon film, like it's not part of the actual franchise. I don't know if they had like rights issues on which puppets and which Demonic Toys they could get, because this isn't the full allotment of them.
I read on the internet that based on when this was written, two of the puppets were like badly damaged.
Yeah,
and,
Leech Woman and the Tunneler would have been injured, but you don't have Mr.
And a few other ones did not even like exist yet, because this was supposed to come out in like '93 or something like that. They said.
But what's weird is in some of the posters, there's Torch and Mr. Static, which are like two of my favorite ones, are on the poster, but they're not anywhere in the movie. Yeah. So I don't know what that makes sense. So yes, they didn't exist when this would have been written, and yes, because it would have been years prior.
And then whoever made the poster was just like, yay!
Yeah, like, oh, here's the .jpeg I have.
Google image search Puppet Master.
Yeah, but like one of those characters is a cool guy with a flamethrower, and then one is a robot like Taser Dude, and I'm like, those are fun characters, and we don't have those here. So it was like, a little strange, because you already felt like you were shot in the foot. Was there anything written about why we didn't have all the demonic toys?
Okay, so I didn't see anything, but now I'm gonna throw to you for like your knowledge, without I guess spoiling all the other movies for me. Are the ones that are in these movies working the same as they do in their own movies?
They feel a little cheesier in this. Like, this is a lower budget movie.
But like their powers and like who and what they are, did they change that?
By and large, no. That's cool. Like up until you get to the point of like mecha upgrades and stuff.
Yes, look at them. So much more powerful.
They're like cooler than ever.
Okay. They're like, so the first bit.
Don't worry,
that is them.
We'll get to that.
and while I like that stuff and don't like that, it's very weird that a puppet like doctor is like, oh, I can make laser upgrades. I'm like, why don't you work for the Pentagon? Like, why?
Okay. That's like some of my like favorite stuff, is when it's like the puppets are damaged because they get attacked, and then he's like, hold on, I have to upgrade my puppet. Yeah, he's
in one day while his daughter's at school.
He's like,
and she goes to school from the mansion that, like, where is that? They had to drive there. That was his mother-in-law's mansion that he had the code for, which you could have the code for your mother-in-law's mansion. That's fine. Ex-mother-in-law, actually. But what's strange is it is a mansion of all mansions. Like, it makes the White House look like a bitch's house. And like, it has a gate with a code, but later the cop just shows up, and I'm like, how the fuck did the cop get in? Did they leave the gate open? They're wanted? And they don't leave the gate closed?
I think I don't understand why you don't hate this movie the way you're thinking about all these minutiae things.
There's nothing but outlandish details that make it so you can't really count anything.
I don't even consider any of like those logical. How'd they get there so quick? What's going on? Wait, they have live video, audio footage of their toy shop the entire time.
That I can believe, honestly. If you are like the Sharp Toys, which is a great name.
Yes.
Is a huge conglomerate that says they have like 9 million toys from this Christmas season of just those guys in circulation. And you're like, okay, that's a lot of fucking money.
That's a lot of toys.
So like this is, and pacts with the devil aside, they have a lot going on here. And I could believe they are able to monitor their competition and stuff.
It's still crazy to me.
Oh, of course it's insane. It's also like a ladybug.
I know.
It is a bug that is a bug.
I love that like a joke. We need another bug and stuff. But yes, no, it's not.
This movie is a great example of like just taking a script that was written and like making it. There was no tailoring to like, well, what makes sense or what can we do? And I think that's super admirable or admirable about what they are doing here. I love that, because there's outlandish off the wall shit here just to bring this universe together of puppets and demon toys.
Yeah.
And just this overarching plot of this woman who's in cahoots with the devil because her father sold his soul to get her the demon toys because he did everything she wanted. I'm like, that is weird.
That's a great story.
And it's exposited just like completely out as a story, as often things are. Like Corey Feldman is in this. I love Corey Feldman. I think he's great, even though he's kind of a weirdo. But that's kind of what you need. And originally,
no. So this is right in the pocket.
Yeah.
Of Corey Feldman, where he was like 30-ish right here, something like that, when this would have been filmed.
Ballpark.
And his daughter's like 18. It's very strange. Putting that aside, this is right.
Good chemistry between those two, I think.
Yeah, they fucked. No.
right as his girlfriend.
This is right in the pocket where Corey Feldman was no longer like a kid actor, obviously.
Yeah.
He's like an actor, but he hadn't yet had his crippling nervous breakdown.
Don't notice them, they check your life again. Make you beg from us, still nobody notice them.
He was still like good for whatever he's doing a voice this whole time.
Yes, a choice.
They've been protecting the Toulon family for generations, almost like guardian angels.
this role was originally conceived of to be Fred Willard.
That's what I was gonna say.
Which is like, oh, that makes so much more sense. But it's just 32-year-old Corey Feldman going, yes, we gotta do, and he's just doing this weird gravelly like, oh yes, we gotta go do the thing.
I think it would have been really insane if they would have got their first choices, and it was also Tracy Lords was gonna be the girl, the evil girl here, and I think that would have been interesting too. Like she's in some really weird fucking movies.
Tracy Lords.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like there's one like the John Carter like before it got like bought up and done by Disney. There was a really shitty one with Antonio Sabato Jr. and her,
Oh my
and it's
God.
so crazy.
I want to see that.
We could watch that.
Committed.
Control yourself.
Where do you think this was filmed?
Like Bulgaria or something,
Right?
Some weird country.
Because the amount like there's like the mayor, his voice is not
100% dubbed.
Yeah.
Oh, Mayor Woodley, thank you for coming.
I'd like a word with the both of you. You know, I have some big ideas for Valentine's Day.
And the cop, I couldn't decide. Half the time it seemed
Okay.
like that's not her voice at all. But then sometimes I'm like, oh, that's an accent-filled voice. That seems like real.
I did research.
Oh, what do you got?
Figured it out. Because so bad dubbing is like one of my like things that bothers me.
It's
a
your
lot.
favorite.
It's my favorite thing. And there's the usual in this where like at one point Corey Feldman's being dragged to like the cop car and they just add a whole conversation that no one's having, or if they're having, it's not the same one. He's just like, hey, you gave me your number and everything. What's going on? Get in the car, sir. All these things are happening, but they're not happening, right?
What are you doing?
Get in the car.
Sergeant, listen to me. I thought we had a relationship. You gave me your phone number and everything.
At one point, the cop, says something, but the actress is like yelling. But the voice is just talking.
They've been spying on me. They stole my formula.
Calm down, Mr. Toulon. You're starting to rant again.
I was like, okay, fucking stop. And that happens right after the mayor. This is like the nexus of like the bad dubbing. So
The mayor is the worst.
yes, but it's like when they're talking after she like drives away but like doesn't book them, and like they're outside the car. She like delivers some sort of dialogue there, and I was just like, wait a minute, what's going on? And so I searched her name, and I found like first interviews where I'm like, okay, she sounds like Melania Trump.
Many languages were in the film, including Slovakian. And of course it's an English-American film, but it was just a mixture of everything, so...
She does not fucking sound like that at all, okay?
That's half the movie, she does sound like that.
So then I'm like, okay, but maybe she does like a killer American accent. So I go deeper. I go fucking deeper, and I find like a few actress film reel like demo reel things.
You went hard in the paint on this one.
One of them includes scenes from this movie
Unedited?
that are not dubbed.
Oh my God, we gotta put those in.
It's like the international release or something. There's copyrighted music playing, so I don't know if we can share these with the people. But it's
rude.
It's like literally her saying, "Next time you should wear pants." It's like her doing like a fucking accent, doing the exact same line. It was amazing.
Stand outside. You might want to put some pants on.
And outside, you might want to put some pants on.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Better watch out. I'll be stopping by to check up on you.
Better watch out. I'll be stopping by to check up on you.
I was like, I was running around the house. Woo! We got him, boys. We did it. I was so happy because like sometimes I'm like, you sound dubbed. That's crazy. But you'll never know. And if you Google, was Officer Russell dubbed in Puppet Demonic? Like, oh my, like no one no one's blogging about that in like 2005 to like tell me or something. So I had to do my own research, and there we go.
Now it's always strange to me the options and the choices you make, because like you didn't have that many characters in this movie.
Yeah.
You could have had a full-on English actress, like, and I don't know if those are like, is she famous somewhere else? You mentioned you had a reel, like, is it that like, oh no, we're bringing in the Romanian, like, people that want to watch this, so we got our star from there and this and that.
It might have been
and that could be it.
It might have been where they filmed, but because footage exists apparently, and I hope I'm not wrong about any of this, but because footage exists of her not dubbed over, I think like they must have been like, Full Moon, whoever, they must have been like, this voice sucks, she sucks, we gotta do something, and they redubbed her or something. I don't know.
My favorite is like really shitty low budget movies, like where the person is like, you can't understand what they're saying at all, and they just add subtitles for that person and only that person. You're like,
who is speaking English.
Yes.
You're just like, yes.
You take things personally. You get angry. You get nervous. You make mistakes. So chill.
Oh man, and we don't have anything quite that bad. But there's interesting things here. Like, I love the practical effects on the demon.
I shall rip thee and thee to pieces. says.
I like just the whole thing about how they talk to the demon, like, oh, you got to sacrifice, you got to throw blood in this thing, and then we open up this like globe, and the demon pops out.
Veiled with innocent blood, I summon thee.
Yeah, like
I think that's a cool little detail.
The running bit about them going through all the receptionists.
Yes.
And just being like, hey, would you like to meet the board of directors? Oh, yes, Mom.
It's the middle of the night. No one has a problem with this.
It's so good.
You're doing such a good job. I'd like to introduce you to our board of directors.
Yes, ma'am.
It's and like the creepy elevator and going down to like the bowels.
Are
of
you
the
a virgin?
building.
Yes.
That's a weird question.
Okay, come on with me.
Come with us.
You are a virgin, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Good girl.
Yeah, like, and no one's suspicious. That's funny. I got a vibe here of Sharp being like Clamp from Gremlins 2.
Okay.
I don't know why, and I can't really explain it, but I feel like that's correct. There's this weird, goofy corporate plus something else thing happening there. It's obviously not demonic in Gremlins. It's something else, right? But like, I really liked this weird. You mentioned before, like her like main henchman tells the story of like your father wanted you to have everything, and so he did this. And
that was
and
like
this.
her Alfred.
Yeah, perfect. And it was like that vibe really worked for me.
That guy's eyes pop out of his head. He gets screeched to death by the Jack in the Box.
Does the Jack in the Box have that screaming sonic power?
I
in the other
can't
movies?
remember, but I don't like. I remember that having a much creepier look. Like when it cuts to close-ups, it's like wet and fucking like really like much more like dubious looking. I haven't watched those movies since they like came out, so it's been quite a while for me.
Movies.
Yeah, the demonic toy movies. But I would say it is certainly possible. I can't 100% remember though.
And there's more than 3 in like the other movies.
More than 3 puppets, yes.
Demonic toys.
No, I thought you meant movies. Yeah. There are more than 3
toys. Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Because this felt kind of sparse and like it felt like there wasn't enough there. And like he has the sonic scream powers. I'm like, okay, that's overpowered. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Then Blade fucking cuts him, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna like, oh wait, that just makes him more powerful. He can now go anywhere he wants. That's crazy.
Yeah, it would have been cool if he lost the vocal cord power because he didn't have a closed tube anymore.
Exactly.
That would have been fun. Like a lot of the things seemed weird. Like once the puppets really like get going, they're like a kung fu movie where like only attack one at a time.
Yes.
And like because it's just we can't have to cross the streams. It's too difficult. We only have one puppet here. Fuck you.
I expected that, and that was a charming thing that I loved when they're fighting, because it's like the teddy bear who's making monkey noises, who never does anything for the entire movie.
Yeah, he pretty much does nothing.
Fights against like the spinning blade one, and just like pieces flying
his name
everywhere.
is like Teddy Grizzly or something like that.
Something horrible. But then like Pinhead, I learned the names. I'm so proud of myself.
Pinhead's my favorite one.
Attaboy, Pinhead.
Pinhead fights with the like stupid baby.
Yes.
And ends up like crushing his head. It's
That's where they got the
amazing.
inspiration for Game of Thrones.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's literally that shot.
It is.
Just the oozing and everything. Yeah, exactly.
I love it. 6-shooter is probably my second favorite.
Yeah.
I like him a lot. I don't necessarily like laser him that
The
much.
pun is worth it. He has
Yeah.
6 arms with and 6 shooter.
Indeed.
6 shooters. That's 36 shooters, if you will.
And like, really, the puppets they almost take a back seat where like
Yeah.
they're often just kind of sitting or sleeping or injured
Yeah.
because you don't see much of that effect happen. Because I imagine that's where a lot of the time went to like oh no, you got to spin the jester's head 1,000 times, make that fucking thing work.
Yes.
Okay, we can only do that like once. Because he literally gets one hit with his mace, and that's like his whole involvement in the movie. He like doesn't really do anything.
In the fight again, he does it? Yeah. Because earlier he uses his new mace to immediately, like crush this thing, which looked to me like a little box made of tin foil.
It was.
Okay, but then Corey Feldman's like, that was a precious antique.
Jester, that is a priceless antique. Control yourself.
Oh, because that's what it's supposed to be.
I know.
It's not what it was.
But it looked like tinfoil.
It was 100% tinfoil.
Good. Okay. As long as we're on the same page there.
Yeah. Because it's only so powerful.
But I like the idea of them getting those upgrades. That's super dumb, and that really like helped me through this whole.
Yeah, it added to it. We're like, there's already enough ridiculous thing happens that to keep adding those things on is
and
great.
Like, as an outsider who comes to this, like, I don't know what the puppets are capable of, but I know, like maybe it's not this, but to me it feels like, okay, for fans, we're gonna like scramble up, we're gonna give Spider-Man the like Iron Man spider suit now for this movie only. Have fun.
Yeah.
And it felt like this cool, neat thing. It's probably shitty and like underwhelming. It sounds like
a little
whatever,
bit.
yeah.
Like part of it, whenever something is like, oh, we sold the rights to use these characters for this movie, it feels a bit like a cash grab or a thing. But I think part of it too was just like, well, we had this script laying around that we wanted to do. The director wanted to shoot this, like,
it's time to finally
10 years earlier.
knock it out.
Yeah, you can do that sci-fi. Here you go. And like it's a fun movie. It's serviceable. It doesn't exactly fit in the world. They do reference earlier things in the movie, so like you can see where its place was. But
yeah, and I was so confused with everybody's ancestors and the bloodlines and the whole thing. It's funny that she then says, you have to impregnate me.
You said you wanted 2 things from me. What's the second one?
I want you to impregnate. I mean, make love to me.
She needs more Toulon blood.
Well, I didn't get that because I thought the demon's whole thing was like, I can take over the world once there's no more Toulon blood in the world. Like I thought that was like almost verbatim what he said.
When the last drop of Toulon blood is shed, ravenous demons shall bring each and every toy to life.
And then she's like, well, can I keep him? And he's like, okay. I'm like, well, wouldn't that be more blood? And like, even if her plan is to kill him, to be impregnated by him would mean there's still more blood in the world. So
well, she
also wasn't against like backstabbing this demon, it seemed. So maybe that was part of her plan.
Yes. No, it's confusing, I feel like. It
Oh, it
doesn't
is.
make sense.
Well, I don't think they're ever really trying.
Right.
It's not something where I would be like, they didn't get that right, because this movie has Corey Feldman hide in like a spare wheel well thing for an 18-wheeler directly next to the thing he's trying to hide from. Did you catch that? He like jumps in onto the 18-wheeler into the tire catch where they would keep a spare tire, and this is how he's going to smuggle into the facility of Sharp.
Oh God!
And like it's like, here is the guy that's the guard. Here is Corey Feldman at like almost eye level riding through on this tire. I'm like, come on, dude.
I thought, in my head, it's like he infiltrates the facility. I forgot all about a truck or a scene about this at all. I was like, oh, what is he talking about?
Oh, he's
There's
like
a
the
truck?
ninja of convenience. He just he walks like 1 inch behind like some guys in white coats, and it's okay. He's in now.
Yeah.
I think once you turn the corner, they did see him. They're like, he's inside now. He must work here.
He must be normal. He must be supposed to be here.
Very strange. Like having these on Christmas Eve, there's a big party at the Sharp facility about how we're going to donate toys and stuff. And I'm like, does that mean you're going to send these people out tomorrow to give them to the homeless?
It's a big ceremony. Yeah.
It's very strange. I feel like that takes a little time. Often in these movies, there's people working up to the last fucking minute and all these things.
Well, and it feels weird to have Corey Feldman have to go there just so that they can be doing their thing there, so that he can overhear this whole.
Yeah.
The convoluted plot of this is that they've made, I guess, replicas of the demonic toys.
They've just made toys that will then be embodied with the
Yeah.
souls of these
so like
demons.
If and we can do the ritual at the right whatever, all those toys are going to come to life and kill everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
It'll be like a Dolly Dearest on a mass scale.
Exactly. But there's no, like, people are talking these toys up. My small issue was like, okay, they've been selling these toys for Christmas this whole time, but no one's opened it like ahead of time and like tried to get it to work. And it's like, they don't work. This is horrible.
No, I think the toys do work.
Oh.
I think they are fully functional toys. They're like My Buddy, like they're the Chucky toy essentially.
Okay.
They're toys, but upon Christmas and the blood pact with the devil dude,
they just go bad.
I think that the souls will then, like that weird little thing we saw, I think will fly out and go into all the toys of the world.
I thought the toys only thing was being possessed, and that the puppets are like mecha, have like mechanisms in them before they're like upgraded or whatever to move and everything. Because they go dee dee dee, they make like little noises.
Yeah, the puppets have become RoboCop.
Yeah, but the toys are just, well, even like before, it seemed like there's something in there moving them, like strings and something, and that's what's happening to like.
Well, they are puppets, yeah.
Yeah, or whatever. But the toys are that one teddy bear is just like full of fluff. There's nothing in there to be like alive except for a demon's soul.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I was like, okay, I don't know.
But I think, man, that doesn't even matter. Yes, regardless of what the inner workings of these toys, what they're capable of doing, like, yes, I think the commercial is hyping up something like any toy commercial where they don't actually do the thing they're doing.
Exactly.
Aw, Christmas pals.
and the commercials are the real demonic toys. Was the
Yes,
whole thing,
yes.
right? Yeah,
They're
exactly.
actors. They got
Yes.
credited.
Oh, they only let us out of the basement to go film the commercials. All that
Yeah,
stuff.
but
Yeah.
if you were to say like the baby doll like can pee and its eyes move or something, I'd be like, yeah, it's a toy, whatever.
Yeah, maybe.
Not super important. Do I think it can walk around? No, of course not.
Yeah, and kill you.
Well, eventually.
A lot of people are going to feel ripped off that their toys do not kill them.
Well, I don't think any people were expecting them to actually move around.
I don't know.
Like maybe children, because children are dumb.
Yeah.
But I don't think any adults like, I'm calling that Sharp company. They fucked me.
The newscaster says, Miss Sharp has made toys that are remarkable. They're almost alive.
Industry analysts are calling them the most phenomenal toy success story since 1983's Cabbage Patch Kids. Toy maker Erica Sharp has created toys so ingeniously animated they almost seem alive.
So I was like, okay, good.
Yeah.
So she's fooled.
Well, you think that? I don't know.
She says it.
I think so. While the doll doesn't look like a real doll, like a baby at all,
Yeah.
I think in the world that's supposed to be an incredibly realistic toy. Was how I took it. But maybe they do believe they're all moving around and doing shit.
I'm not sure what's going to happen on Christmas is my point.
Well,
it's very crazy.
Nothing.
But on Christmas
Except
morning,
a dinner at the cop's house.
So what I loved was that the demon calls out Miss Sharp.
Mm-hmm.
He says, because in so many movies you are like racing the clock for midnight or sundown or sunrise or like whatever, and then it seems like once you get there it's kind of loose and shitty and like the rules aren't so tight anymore.
Yeah, this was very hardcore.
And you're running away, like. Literally within one shot to like the next, that demon Bale, right, says, sunrise has come and gone. You have failed me. And she's like, uh-oh, and it's and he just claps her. He's like, we're done.
Sunrise has come and gone. You have failed me.
It's over. And I'm like, oh, this is a perfect solution to this problem. It's hilarious.
Yes. The only thing that was very loose with the timeline was the daughter in that like death chamber. We saw someone go in that before and they died almost immediately. She walked out without even a cut on her, and I'm like, that's an Iron Maiden.
I was pissed because the daughter's screaming things like, something's poking me and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I expected her to have like some sort of small,
like 100 holes,
even just one small one, just to indicate that like, oh, the machine was just starting up, just something to get me going.
Well, because even after they stopped me from working, she's like, we can do it manually, and I'm like, that must be doing something.
We can operate it manually.
Yeah.
No. Nothing.
They should have done a little something there.
Yeah, I just think they had no budget
just like
at all.
A superficial amount of.
Just based on how little impact we saw, like or actions by the puppets and stuff. Like at certain points, they literally just throw them into the shot. They're like, ah!
Does a typical Puppet Master movie have more puppetry?
They're like a little like the earlier ones are a little slow, but the shots are cooler. Like things are creepy, and like there is to a degree like that go animation where like people are moving things and stuff. Like, but the actual fluid movement of the puppets in their stop motion stuff is better in the regular movies. I want to say.
Yeah, I mean I can handle the badness, but I agree with you that there wasn't as much of it.
They get more outlandish and fun as they go on, though.
Yeah.
Like as technology advanced and like the production company itself got bigger and had more money and stuff. Because I think their biggest cash crop is probably Puppet Master. Because like there's so many toys and bullshit they sell off this one, and there's so many. I think they're.
Sell the toys.
I don't think they own it any longer. I think the newer ones are owned by somebody else. But they did just put out a movie with Blade on his own.
Yeah.
But the Puppet Master themselves ones, and maybe I'm totally wrong.
Wesley Snipes.
But like the Littlest Reich, I don't think was put out by Feldman. I think there was a producer on that one.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. There's a whole universe there. Yeah. Like in this though, like it will just cut to the puppets like on the ground, like poking their legs, and then cut it back to them. and cut to something else, and then like them running out. The puppets are too strong for us, sir. We can't do it and stuff.
Yeah, there's not really any good deaths in this. It's not really creepy at any points. It's more of a comedy. It's like a fun movie.
Yeah.
But I like it.
Hey, buttface! What are you looking at?
Baby, talk!
I don't know if I would say like I thought I liked it. Now that we're talking about it, I think maybe I didn't like it as much as I thought I did. I think that it was fine. It was like okay. You know what I mean?
Well, you gotta weigh it amongst what it is. So like, it is a Christmas movie, so by definition, they're not going to be as good as anything else. I think if you don't weigh it so much as a movie, and you weigh it as like a fun YouTube video, I think it's a good thing.
Or it's like an event. It's like these two things coming together.
It's a series of concepts that I like. I won't say the whole thing is great from beginning to end, but these little things are fun.
No,
they're odd, they're weird, they don't have any real reason to exist, but here they are, and I'm glad they do.
Yeah, it's like fun as a bad movie, though, right?
No, it's not a good movie.
Well, it's obviously not a good movie, but there aren't even many things in it that I would say like, oh, that was really interesting, or that was really good.
No, it's touching base on the outlandish full moon concept here, but it doesn't really bring it all the way home because it loses some, like, I imagine it's just sci-fi's influence.
Are the other movies more
structure.
serious, or what's happening?
Earlier they were more serious. Later they were much more ridiculous.
Less serious?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
This reminds me almost like of a Blood Dolls, like has like a vibe of that one, but like more restrained, like a little more reeled in.
Well, it was fun, and it made me want to go watch all the other movies that involve these characters. And by that I mean the Demonic Toys, Puppet Master, and Corey Feldman.
There's also a crossover with Doll Man, and he fights the Demonic Toys.
Right? Yeah. That's what I mean. You have to go down all the branches and get all the material together.
Hit every branch on the way down. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's alright.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever.
Fuck these motherfuckers.
Got one for you too. Oh yeah.
Cannibal Video has everything you need. A wide array of VHS and DVDs. We ate the competition, now it's only us. Our expert staff opinion